what we call the world, the facts, what's really happening, what we call my experience, how I see things, subjectivity, what we call the truth of what happened, my story, our history, what we call entertainment, identity, culture, belief systems, what they are at their root. When we understand the difference between reality, perception, and narrative, we begin to see how easily people can get lost in their own stories. This doesn't make them wrong, just human.
The scene begins with a black screen, symbolizing the unknown. A single match ignites in slow motion, representing the spark of awareness. Curling smoke signifies the ephemeral nature of perception and the potential for illusion. Reality is represented as an empty, open desert, devoid of human presence. There are no footsteps, no sounds, just silence, deep and complete. In that quiet, everything slows down, and what's left is simply being. No noise to distract, no movement to follow, only the stillness that reminds you. This is pure existence, nothing added, nothing missing. The soft breath of wind moves through the stillness, gentle, almost invisible, yet it hints at something more, a quiet energy hiding within the emptiness, a subtle potential waiting to awaken. Perception is the lens through which individuals view and interpret the world. Beliefs and biases act as filters, altering the perceived reality. These filters can distort objective reality, influencing emotional responses and understanding. These filters, like beliefs, memories, or past experiences, can change the way we see things. They don't just color our perception, they can twist what's actually happening. Narratives can be visualized as floating threads, each representing a component of a story. These threads slowly weave themselves together, forming a tapestry that stretches through time. Each thread, an experience, a feeling, a moment joins with others to create a story. What we call a life. The unraveling of the tapestry shows the fragility and impermanence of narratives. Narratives are like floating threads in the air, each thread holding a piece of a story, a memory, a belief, a meaning. They drift around us, sometimes weaving together to form a full picture, sometimes tangling and confusing us. But each one carries part of the tale we tell ourselves. These threads slowly weave themselves together, forming a tapestry that stretches through time. Each thread, an experience, a feeling, a moment, joins with others to create a story. What we call a life is this tapestry, a blend of memory and meaning, stitched together from everything we've lived. It's how we make sense of the chaos, by turning moments into stories. Human storytelling has evolved from ancient cave paintings to modern social media reels. Human storytelling has come a long way. It began with drawings on cave walls, symbols scratched in stone to share a moment, a memory, a meaning. Now, it's reels on social media, quick flashes of life, sound, and feeling. But the heart of it remains the same, the need to be seen, to be heard, to say, "This is who I am. This is what I've lived." The enduring human need to create and share narratives persists across different mediums. Collective stories can cause people to lose their sense of self. Everyone starts to look the same. Faces become blurred. Voices don't match, like a song that's out of tune. In following the group, narrative is how we turn experiences into stories. It helps us make sense of what happens by giving it structure and meaning. Without narrative, life can feel random. With it, we create purpose, patterns, and identity, even if the story isn't the full truth. And this is where most people are mentally. When we're trapped in narrative, we stop experiencing life as it is and start living through a story about it. We don't see the moment, We see our version of it. We don't hear what someone says, we hear what it means to us. We don't feel reality. We feel our reaction to the story we've told about it. In this trap, the past repeats, not because it's still happening, but because the story hasn't changed. The future gets shaped, not by potential, but by the plot we're still stuck in. Others become characters, cast in roles we assign them, instead of seen as they are. Identity becomes fixed. I am this, I am not that. As if the story can never shift. And while we're busy looping our personal tales, society feeds us the bigger ones. Governments, religions, corporations, and media write collective scripts. Who's right? Who's wrong? What's success? What's failure? What's desirable? What's dangerous? And here's where the tragedy deepens. When narrative becomes your only reality, you stop being a soul and become a role, a character in a scripted performance, a walking mask, perfectly cast. You don't act from presence. You react from programming. You don't feel deeply. You perform feelings that fit the plot. You don't live. You repeat. This is the silent crisis of our generation. Soulless beings in beautifully edited stories, scrolling, posting, performing, but no longer being. Because when narrative takes the wheel, the soul gets left behind, unfelt, unheard, unlived. The wordless reality is shown as a mirror, with no reflection. It doesn't show an image, just emptiness. It points to something beyond words, beyond form, a truth that can't be seen, only felt. Pure light represents the highest truth, something beyond what we can see, think, or explain. It's reality without stories, without filters, just being untouched and whole. Innocence and openness are required to perceive this reality. Reality represents the fundamental state of existence, independent of human perception. Reality exists prior to language, thought, and feeling. It is even when there are no words to describe it, no ideas to explain it, and no emotions to react to it.
Reality is the underlying foundation upon which all experiences are built. It's what all thoughts, feelings, and events rest on the ground that stays the same, even when everything else changes. Perception acts as a filter, shaping our experience of reality. It changes how we experience reality not by altering reality itself, but by shaping how we see it. Individual biases, memories, and emotional states influence this filtering process. Perception is a subjective interpretation, not a direct representation of reality. It's how we interpret reality, not how reality actually is. We don't see things exactly as they are.
We see them through our own lens. When we confuse perception with reality, we start mistaking our opinions for truth. We react to our version of events, not to what's actually happening. This can lead to misunderstandings, conflict, and unnecessary suffering. We might judge others unfairly, make poor decisions, or stay stuck in illusions, believing something is real just because it feels real. In short, confusing perception with reality disconnects us from what is and keeps us trapped in what we think.
Narrative is the construction of stories that provide order and meaning to experiences. It involves selecting, arranging, and editing events to create a coherent account. Narrative shapes our understanding of ourselves and the world. Perceptions are shaped by the complex interplay of sensory input, cognitive processes, and emotional states. It's shaped by a mix of things: our senses, our thoughts, and how we feel in the moment, what we notice, how we interpret it, and how we react emotionally. All of it works together to create the way we see the world. Sensory input, thoughts, and emotions all act as filters. What is perceived as reality is a filtered and interpreted version of what is actually present. Narratives fulfill the human need for order and understanding. Narratives provide a framework for interpreting events and assigning meaning. Narratives construct a sense of identity and purpose. Subjective perception can result in misunderstandings and disagreements regarding the nature of reality. Individuals may perceive the same event in vastly different ways, leading to conflict and confusion. Varied interpretations of events can stem from the subjective nature of perception. Narratives, while offering comfort and meaning, can impose limitations and distortions on perception. Narratives can create false impressions of reality by selectively emphasizing certain aspects while obscuring others. Rigid adherence to narratives can reinforce biases and confine individuals within restrictive belief systems. Direct experience of reality requires awareness of perceptual filters and biases. Mindfulness and meditation practices help quiet the mind and observe reality without judgment. Observing reality without judgment allows for a more direct and unfiltered experience. Perception is subjective and varies from individual to individual. Recognizing the subjective nature of perception allows for openness to alternative viewpoints. Challenging personal assumptions leads to a more nuanced and accurate understanding. Narratives significantly shape individual perspectives and life experiences. Unfortunately, this is where most of people are. Critical examination of personal narratives can reveal underlying assumptions and limitations. Challenging and reconstructing narratives fosters personal growth and empowerment. The ultimate goal is to recognize the underlying reality that exists beyond perception and narrative. This involves letting go of the need for control and understanding. Embrace the mystery and uncertainty of existence. When we understand the difference between reality, perception, and narrative, we begin to see how easily people can get lost in their own stories. This doesn't make them wrong, just human. Recognizing the subjective nature of experience enhances empathy and understanding between individuals. Acknowledging subjective experience allows for better connection with others and navigation of life's complexities. Reality exists independently of human minds, serving as the foundational source of all experience. Perception is the process through which awareness of reality is achieved. Narrative represents the internal story constructed about perceived reality. Perception provides the raw material for narratives. Narrative shapes perception by influencing attention and interpretation. Perception and narrative are in constant interplay. Human minds possess inherent limitations that prevent a complete understanding of reality. Finite perspectives restrict the ability to perceive reality in its totality. Increased awareness and appreciation enhance the perception of reality's beauty, despite inherent limitations. Perception can be refined through consistent practice and accumulated experience. Mindfulness and openness are key to perceiving the world in novel and meaningful ways. Cultivating these qualities allows for an expanded and more profound understanding of reality. Narratives can be employed to manipulate perceptions and control beliefs. Critical analysis of narratives is essential to resist manipulation. It's important to recognize and resist narratives that spread division and hate. These stories are often designed to turn people against each other, to create fear, enemies, and blame. Connecting with underlying reality fosters a sense of peace, grounding, and purpose. Grounding in reality aids in overcoming fear and anxiety. Living in the present moment becomes more attainable through connection with reality. Deconstructing beliefs about reality, perception, and narrative allows for a deeper understanding of life. Embracing uncertainty is essential for an authentic experience. Cultivating awareness of the present moment enhances the experience of life.